We'll answer. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Lakshmi, and thank you, Lena, for being part of our um, industry professional STEM panel. We're very excited to have you here. And my name is Doina, and I'm the founder of Revolution. I am the one that wears a lot of hats here, and I'm actually very excited that we're having our seminar program again this year for the 8th year. This time, oh my God, I can't believe it's been 8 years that we're running this program. And whether we have enough funding for it or not, that's another problem, but we are going to run the program because we care. And the reason why we have this panel and we invited you to be part of this panel is because we would like people to see what you could become, after you come into the program. So you're basically no pressure, but you are an inspiration to many. And for that, I really appreciate it. So if you don't mind introducing yourself, like share about you, who you are, your role at the company that you're at, and just a little fun fact about you, that would be great. So let's go in alphabetical order. So Lakshmi.
Okay. Yeah. I actually have like a PPT that I use for. Can I share my screen?
Sure. I think I'll have to add you on as a co-host. Okay.
Can you see my screen?
No.
Yep.
It's starting. There you go.
Um,
The PowerPoint is going to have all the questions because I want to ask you questions.
okay.
So this is
Sure.
just about like introduce yourself.
Yeah, that's it. It's easy for me when I have something in front of me to talk.
Okay.
Yeah. So um currently I'm a controls engineer at General Motors here at St. Catharines. But my journey started. I started my bachelor's in electrical and electronics engineering. That is back in India, and then I did work with a couple of companies in India, which is an industrial automation field. That's where I got exposed to this automating factory stuff, and I got interested into that. So then I searched for how can I learn more about that, because the degree that I had, it was more focused on electrical and a little bit on electronics, but I need more knowledge to work on industrial automation field. So I found this program in Canada. I applied for it and I did that one. While I was doing, I was again interested in electronics. So there was like 1 year co-op option. I took that and I tried in the electronics field. I actually like it, but it was more easy for me in the industrial automation field to get a job. So then I applied for controls at the industrial automation roles after graduating, and I got the job as a controls engineer at General Motors. So that's basically my story. Um,
Mhm.
and a
Actually,
little bit
so
about,
sorry, Lakshmi, I don't think
yeah.
so we're not going to actually share screens because I will ask you questions back and forth. So I have a couple of
Oh,
questions.
okay. Sorry,
So
this is
we
my
don't need to
first
share.
time. So
Yes,
yeah,
no, no,
okay.
it's okay. So we don't need to share actually. So you can keep that for you if you need to. But I will be
Yeah.
asking you questions, and I think Rola sent you some of the questions. So I'll ask you questions,
Yeah.
and I want to ask Lena questions. So it would be like more of like a back and forth conversation. If you're okay
Okay.
with that? Yes,
Yeah,
thank
yeah,
you. We don't
yeah.
have like separate present like a panel, and so as a panel, meaning that I get to ask you, and I'll ask the same question, Lena the same question, and then
Oh, okay. Yeah,
yes,
yeah, yeah. I
it's
got
more
it. I
like a
got it.
Q&A type of thing.
Yeah,
Yes, yes,
that'd be
yes.
great. That's
But
actually
that's
better.
okay.
Yeah,
Yes, it's better, right? I like
yeah.
those two because sometimes I'm like, what am I going to say? What am I going to say? I'm
Oh,
sorry that you
yeah.
had to create all that presentation, but if
No,
you want
no.
to, you can share with us, and I can just share with people when we send them the recording so they can
No,
see.
no, that's fine. That's fine. We use
Yeah.
this here. So that's why I
Mm-hmm.
thought, yeah, That's
Yeah, no, that's okay. No problem. So thanks for sharing about you. Lena, do you want, oh, actually, sorry, I don't think you shared a fun fact. Anything fun about you that we should know?
I like music. I used to be in a music band, but during high school, and we
Yes,
played in community events and school functions. So that's one fun fact.
that's a good fun fact.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Lena, how about you? If you don't mind introducing yourself, the company, the role.
Yeah, so my name is Lena, and I'm a new grad software engineer and test at Okta. I've been here since last year, June. I just hit 1 year 2 days ago, so
Yay.
June 10th. Yeah.
Me
Um,
too.
oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes.
Congrats
Yeah,
to you.
thank you. And in university, I studied, so I actually had a lot of different interests when I applied to university. So my path wasn't very straightforward when I first was applying. So initially I was in mechanical engineering, and then as I was in mechanical engineering, I started having more interest towards programming and coding, and like thinking like maybe software engineering is more my thing. So I started going
Hmm.
towards that path, and then I just had like a whole career change in the middle. Well, not really career change, like field change in the middle of my undergrad. So I am now happy with what I'm doing. Um, I'm very passionate about it. So I'm really glad and grateful for that career switch. And a fun fact about me is I like being creative. I have a lot of different interests, so I always change my hobbies like almost every month. Sometimes I enjoy sewing, sometimes it's crocheting, or maybe sometimes like I also enjoy making websites for like my friends. They have like they like to start their own businesses, so then I help them with the website creation aspect of it. So I really find that fun for myself, and also just designing is a lot of fun for me. So I would say that's amongst like one of my hobbies. And then also I also love painting and just like hobbies like that here and there.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing that. It actually helps because sometimes we have young women that come into our programs and they feel like you have to be so focused into this, just like, let's say if it's just coding or STEM, and there's nothing else that matters, but all of those hobbies just kind of make us humans, right? And it's okay to have those hobbies. That's why I asked, share about a fun fact about you. So thanks for sharing that. I appreciate it. Okay, so Lakshmi, uh, can you let us know how did you decide to enter your career?
Um, so when I was in high school, I never knew a controls engineer position existed. It was more like a journey. I was interested in physics, and after high school, I actually joined a physics program, and it was my professor who enrolled me into an engineering. I don't know if I was bad in physics or he saw something better in me. Maybe he thought I would be better in engineering. So I entered electrical and electronics engineering. I like doing projects. Then when I got the job in electrical, I got exposed to this PLC, like in the automating factory kind of programming things. That um, so I started learning more about those. I did a program on that. I got exposed to robotic things, programming robotics, and that was pretty good. Um, then I found jobs that's related to that, and I got this one, and it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Thank you. Lena,
Mm.
the same question.
So I guess it started in high school. I always had like a passion for like problem solving. So I would be in like physics class and math class, and I would really enjoy the whole solving a problem aspect of things. So I knew that when I go to university, like I want to continue doing this type of work. So I guess that's why I originally headed into like mechanical engineering. And then I guess like in the middle of it, I started realizing also that I like growing up, I really enjoyed coding too. So
Hmm.
it was always like something that I would do on the side. Like I think a lot of people probably did this back in the day, but like I used to have a Tumblr, and I used to create like my own themes and designs like using CSS and HTML. So I really enjoyed doing that back then. So as I during undergrad, I remember I took a coding course in one of my classes, in one of my semesters, and then I really, really enjoyed it. It was like an introduction to C++. So I realized, I'm like, damn, I want to keep doing this. Like, this is so fun. And then from then on, I looked more into it. I started like learning on my own too. And then I ended up applying to internships that were more geared towards that, like coding. So I took on an internship at IBM where I was a DevOps developer. So that really put my foot in the door to and exposed me to the world of technology and development. So I did that for 16 months, and it was a really great experience and taught me so much. And then that's when I realized like that was something that I really wanted to do in like after graduation. And so once I graduated, I continued to look for jobs that were similar to that. And that's what led me to my current role, which is a software developer in tests. So what we do is like test automation, and there's a lot of problem solving involved in my job right now. So I'm really enjoying it. And it allows me to be like technical and creative, and allows me to ensure that I'm helping. Like I can see like the way that I'm solving problems and how it helps like the company and my team itself. So yeah, it's
Thank
really
you. Thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, the next question that I have for you is, did you have any role models growing up? And if so, can you tell us a little bit more about them and what was so inspiring? So Lakshmi.
Yeah. So my biggest inspirations were first my mom. She was an accountant, and there was like this one thing that she always tell me, I'm learning for myself, because when we are kids, we don't like to sit down like a lot and read the books and learn things. But she always say, I'm doing it for myself. So it's that education is something that we can always hold on to, more than money or anything else. So just keep that in mind. So that always was there in my mind when I was learning. And another role model is my physics teacher in my high school. She is the one who made me realize that what matters in STEM mostly is like common sense and logical thinking, and nothing else. So she was also my greatest inspiration. Yeah.
Thank you. Lena, how about you?
So for myself, I would probably also say first my mom. We came to Canada as refugees, and so we like started from scratch completely. Throughout that time, I saw like my mom show so much resilience, so much strength to get to where she is right now. And that really inspired me to also want to do something for myself. I wanted to like create a name for myself, and also make sure that whatever I do, I show an impact in the world and in my company or in my career. That so something like engineering seemed like the greatest opportunity to do that, because in engineering women are a minority, of course. So I find that being able to like share my voice, being able to show that I'm a woman and I'm in engineering, like that really I found that to be empowering. So I like saw my mom do all these things. So I was like, okay, I want to follow in her footsteps too. I want to do something that's empowering and shows resilience as well. And besides that, I would say I had a lot of great mentors in university as well. There was I think I guess in high school they call them guidance counselors, but in university they go by, I think, to just I forget the name exactly, but they're amongst that type of title as well. They help you, like, as they know that women are need more support. They try to give that resources to women. So I had that in university, and I had someone to go to for resources when I needed them, someone to push me and keep me motivated on my track, even when there was times that it felt like, oh, should I just give up right now? Like, is there like this seems too hard? But then you have that support, those people that are there to to help you and be by your side. So it's very helpful, and I would say those people are my mentors.
Thank you for sharing that. Just the reason why I'm asking this question about role models. There's a lot of young women that we have in our program that don't have anyone that they can look up to. So when we bring volunteers, when we bring people from, our partnering companies or other students that come back into the program, they get to see that, wow, this is possible. I could actually be this. And I'm always inspired by so many of the young women that come into our program. Some of them really come from very hard um, or challenging environments, and they really don't have anyone. And I remember for myself, and this is why I'm so passionate about this, is I remember for myself when I came to Canada, I thought it takes, I thought you're supposed to be rich to go to post-secondary, to get a post-secondary education, because, I came here as an immigrant. I didn't know anyone. I didn't speak the language. And it took me 10 years to learn that I can apply for OSAP so I can go get a post-secondary education. And as soon as I learned that, within 6 months, I was enrolled in school. It was just having those role models, having someone to that we can go to and ask questions are so important, whether they're at school, whether they're in our life, whether, it doesn't matter. And I like the idea that you both have your moms to be your inspiration. Isn't it nice? I'm hoping I can be my kids' inspiration too. So, yes. Well, thank you for that. Okay. Let's talk about your workday, because I'm sure a lot of people are interested. And I love the fact that we have a bit of similar yet not so similar professionals here. We're STEM, but then we do different things, right? So let's start with you, Lakshmi. What does a typical work day look like for you? When you wake up in the
Yeah.
morning at 3 a.m. I don't know. I don't know if that is, but yes.
Yeah. So yeah, it's not 3. My work day starts at 6:30 a.m.
Mhm.
That's our second shift. And first thing I have to do is, what we do in my workplaces, we make engines.
Mhm.
We make like around 1,800 engines a day. So in 3 shift. So I work in my shift, we might be making 600. So the first thing when I reach my office is to check the reports, how many did we produce, checking the emails and stuff. And the next thing will be going into the production floor and check with each team members, each team, if the machine is doing good, was there any issue, if the machine was down in the previous shift, has anything happened, those kind of things. If something is down, we have to troubleshoot it. Sometimes what happens is we have to continue the production. So we call it Band-Aid. So we Band-Aid it, and we will doing the maintenance on Sundays or Saturday, if Saturday is free. Otherwise, we will be fixing that machine at the same time. So that's basically what I do.
Thank you, Lakshmi. Lena, how about you?
Yeah, that sounds really nice and cool. For my job, I work from home. So my job is I usually start at 9 a.m. I don't have to commute to office, so that's really great. I can just start I can wake up at 1 minute early if I wanted to and just start my day off. So usually I start off my day the same way. I check my email, I make sure that I'm up to date with everything that's gonna be going on. I check my calendar to see if there's any meetings for the day. And I just prepare myself for those meetings. We have a daily scrum. So a daily scrum means that you talk about like what you did the day before and what you're currently working on, and you share that with the entire team. So and also you talk about what you're going to be doing for the rest of the day. So that's what you talk about, and then that's when I look at the tasks that I have assigned to me. It's usually on Jira. We use Jira to keep track of like the tasks that we have, and we also have sprints. So sprints are every 2 weeks, and once that sprint is finished, we get into a meeting, we plan for the next sprint, and for those 2 weeks, we work on the new set of tasks. So for this sprint that I'm currently in, I'm working on creating a test plan. And for this test plan that we are doing, it's based on a feature that another team is working on. And so my job as a software engineer and test is to test those things that will be released. And so I create a test plan, I get it approved by the team, and then once it's approved by the team, that's when I start working on writing those tests. So some of them are manual, I just perform them manually first, and then I will code those tests like for them to run automatically. And then we add those to our suite of tests, and then those tests will run in the CI and the CD builds, which is continuous delivery, and also Jenkins builds. So I'm sure there's like some more complex terms, but once you start working full time, you'll understand that these are very essential tools and resources that you'll be getting into contact with. So and that's mainly my day. Like I just write, and then there's also a lot of collaboration and communication with other teams, with your manager, with your own team, and I find that to be like majority of what my day consists of.
Thank you for that. I appreciate you sharing this because, you know, we do incorporate a lot of teamwork. And I know students in high school, especially, they feel like, do group work. What they don't understand, once you go to post-secondary, you will do group work. And the reason why that's designed this way is because when you are going to be working, you will be doing group work. You will have to collaborate with your coworkers a lot. And that's why it's very, very important. Learning those communication skills early, I believe, are a huge strength, right? So, Lena, let's start with you this time and tell us if there's anything that surprised you about your job when you first started.
I think when you're first starting off any job, I think it's just a big change from like when you're back in school compared to working. I think that was like the biggest shock for me, because I'm a new grad, so it technically is my first time having a full-time job, even though I've done internships, which exposed me to the working field. But the first just getting out of school and adjusting to it, I think like it's nice that as soon as it hits 5 p.m. I can just I can just worry about like my own life and not have to worry about the work day anymore. So that was like the biggest change, adjusting from university to the work life. I think another thing is also like working, you have to also like adapt to like working on, like there's a whole team aspect of working, but also there will be a majority of the time, I feel like when you're working on tasks, the task is assigned to you as a person. So you're working on how do I solve this? How do I solve this problem? Like you look at all the resources available to you, you do all the research yourself. And then let's say you come across like a hurdle or a time like where you don't understand something, that's when you reach out. And I find that that's when it's really helpful to communicate with your team about like, okay, how do I do this? Because there's always someone else that knows how to do that specific task maybe that you're stuck on. Because when you're just new to a job, you're not going to know everything. So I think it's also like getting used to like making sure that I reach out to making sure that I don't just think that I have to figure out everything on my own. I have to make use of my resources, make sure that I have that I know that these are my team members, this is my manager, this is this person, this is that person, and I know like I can ask them for questions. So I think that was one thing that I had to get myself used to, because in university I would just do everything on my own. Like I would like, even when it came to asking help from the professors, I would just try to be like, okay, I'll do this on my own, and then if I would try to do as much as I could on my own before asking help from others. But I realized when it comes to full-time jobs and working, that you can't just leave that much time to go on and just think that you're going to do by yourself. And it's good to reach out for help. So I'm sure there's a lot more, but that's what I can think of at the moment.
Well, that was really good. Thank you. Thanks for sharing that. How about you, Lakshmi? What is the thing that surprised you when you first started your job?
Yeah, so one thing that surprised me a lot was I thought that this is gonna be like a Monday to Friday job, but turns out it's not. I'm always on call. All of the controls engineer here is like always on call. We will get calls at night, any time of the day, and most Sundays we'll be working because we cannot work on machine when the line is running, when the production is going on. So we get to work on the machines only on Sundays. So basically, we have to work on Monday to Friday and some Saturdays, but most Sundays as well. But it feels pretty good. We feel like we are needed. It's like those Grey's Anatomy doctors getting calls, but we are getting the same calls just for machines. So it also feels good, but sometimes we get tired. Yeah,
Thank you for that. That was
that's what.
really good. I was actually going
Yeah.
to ask the next question, and I can ask you, Lakshmi. You can go like a good segue is like, what is it that you love about your job?
Oh, the same thing. It's the same thing that I love and hate. When we get those calls, like we have that feeling, oh, we are needed. We can fix something. That's one thing, and we get that adrenaline rush when we can see, right? Um, when we are doing something, my job especially, we can see the result. Sorry, I can see the result in my in front of my eyes. So that's the best thing. Yeah.
Thank you. The same thing for you, Lena. What is the thing that you love most about your job? What do you enjoy about a job? You're on mute.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I had background sound, so I had to mute myself. Um, um, yeah, there's a lot of things that I would say I enjoy about my job, um, especially because this is when I was in undergrad, this was the type of job that I was looking for. So I think one of the main things I would say, I love that it's remote. It saves me a lot of commuting time and having to go into office. Although like going to office, I know it has its own benefits and it's great, but I love that it does save me a lot of time from having to commute. Um, Another thing is back earlier I said that I love problem solving and I love like being I guess I really love the technical aspect of things, especially when I was in high school. I remember loving that a lot, and this is what I wanted to do in my future career as well. So I love that my job allows me to do that continuously almost every day. Um, a lot of my job involves debugging. So when I'm there and I'm testing out a new feature, that means I have to keep my eyes wide open and look at as many issues as I can identify and bring that up to the team so that when I bring it up to the team, it avoids that problem from going into production, which is where our customers use our product. So there's been many times where I have been able to catch bugs or problems or issues, and whenever I've done that, like there's always been a lot of gratitude expressed from the other side, and it just makes you feel like you're doing something, and it makes you very grateful for what you're doing. And so I really enjoy being able to solve those problems and find those issues that might have gone undetected if I didn't put in the work to find them and catch those.
Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Okay, let's talk about something fun. Not like everything else wasn't fun already. Um, I like this question a lot because it's more of a thinking question. It's fun, but it's thinking. Um, in your opinion, what are the skills that you think are most important for someone that is interested in a career like yours? When it comes to young women, what skills should they focus on if they want to be you when they grow up? Lakshmi, you can go first.
Yeah. I would say reasoning skills, logical thinking. If you're into like solving puzzles, those kind of things, that's really gonna help. Um, Troubleshooting skills. If you're interested in, when your car breaks down, you're interested in finding what happened with that, or if something at home is breaking down. So you can work on that skill. Then, of course, the programming things. Um, right now we have like lots of resources available in the internet. Like Arduino is like a long, there is like a lot of Arduino kits available. We can try coding in those things, and also creating things. There are like lots of resources available. We can make use of that. We can find a problem. Mm, it doesn't have to be like a big problem that's happening in the world or anything. Just have to be like a really small thing which is annoying at your house. You wanna find a solution for that small thing. You can work on that small thing, find a solution on yourself, try to draw that, try to 3D print that, try to program that. Everything is available. You can even ask ChatGPT, do the programming. Try to understand what it's doing. That's more important. You right now, it's not like you have to know coding. You have to know how to ask the right question. That's how the world is going these days. But still, we need to have that logical reasoning so that we can troubleshoot them. So that's one thing, I would say. Try finding solutions, and doing puzzles. Yeah, that's what I would say. Yeah.
Even
Mm.
ChatGPT gets it wrong sometimes, so you have to make sure that ChatGPT is
Oh
right.
yeah,
So you have to think about,
yeah,
well,
yeah,
is it
that
true?
happens.
Right. Yes.
Yes,
I
that's
mean,
why it's important to understand what it's saying. Yeah, we
right,
have to,
right.
yeah, we have to prompt it right to get what we want these days. Yeah.
Isn't that what I feel like ChatGPT mimics real life? If we ask the right question, even to humans, we will get the answer that we're looking for. So ChatGPT is the same. If you know how to ask the question, you will get the
Yeah,
answer you're looking for.
exactly.
So yeah, communication skills are very important, whether it happens in tech or it happens with humans, it doesn't
Yeah,
matter, right? So
that's
yeah,
true.
thanks, Lakshmi.
Yeah. Oh, I
Right?
want to add one more thing,
Yes,
collaboration
yes.
as well. Yeah, we should be able to collaborate with different teams. That is also important.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So the teamwork that we have
Teamwork.
in the program, the teamwork that happens in high school, the teamwork that happens
Yes.
in university or
Yeah.
college, it's so critical. So yes, keep an open mind to teamwork. Group
Yeah.
work in school is called
Yes.
group work. Yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Thank you. Thanks, Lakshmi. How about you, Lena? Any advice?
To be successful in my specific job, that was the
Yes.
question, correct? Okay.
Yes, like what are the skills that you think are important?
I think some skills that are important is definitely knowledge of some of like the more core languages, coding languages. So maybe like JavaScript, CSS, HTML. It's also really good to know other languages like Python, or C++, as a just as an extra. They can always help you because it allows you to, if the language differs, maybe you're reading a different, you're, because sometimes you're not only just working within your own repository, you're also working with other teams, so you want to be able to read their files and documents as well. So it's really helpful to know that. As well, I wanted to add on to what Lakshmi said. I think teamwork is very, very essential skill, because a lot of your job is going to be working with other teams, working with your own team. You're always going to be asking questions. So also like knowing how to ask the right questions is a very good skill, because sometimes you can ask a question, but your answer will still not be fully resolved because maybe you didn't know how to ask that question correctly. So you'll just be stuck there wondering like, oh wait, but I don't understand this part of it. So it's going to be going in circles, like constantly going back and asking maybe the same question but a different way. But a good way is to understand the full picture. So it's like, let's say I'm working on something and I don't understand a certain part of it, so I'll try to understand how it all goes together first, and then that one specific area that I don't understand how it works, I'll bring that up to who I think will know the answer. So yeah, that's one of the skills that I would think would be very helpful. Also, I guess like speaking skills as well. I think it's good to know how to talk during meetings as well, because it's good to give your own feedback. Maybe your feedback is requested from your team or maybe a different team. And it's good to know, like, okay, this is how I feel. So it's good to be able to express your opinion on things, because your opinion matters just as much as anyone else's opinion. So never feel that, oh, what I say is not important, because of course everyone's opinion is very important. So it's really good to be able to express yourself. And yeah, that's more for like yeah, for more technical skills. I would say, I guess I already listed those. That would be that. And also, I guess just familiarizing yourself with these tools like maybe Slack or Teams, and I think there's a few other ones too. I can't remember what they are, but there's a lot of collaboration tools that you can use, and just familiarize yourself before you start working, because you want to be able to know how to navigate through them. And also, yeah, just being able to collaborate with your team and communicate well with them. And it's good to also have leadership skills as well. It will just only help you from there. Yeah, that's what I would say.
Thank you for that. And thanks for mentioning Slack, because we use Slack at Revolution. And because young people use Discord or any other things that are part of gaming, which I get it, they're great. But we use Slack for a reason, because we know that a lot of companies use Slack as a form of communication. So I'm like, if you come here, you actually get to become more familiar with Slack. And we want to go somewhere halfway to, meet everybody's needs. But at the same time, let's move on to Slack as well, because that would be something that you would be using professionally. So thanks for that. Can we go into, Lena, if you don't mind? I'm going to start with you, so then we can go back that way. What are some personal skills that are essentials for someone in your field? Other than, no technical, no teamwork, but anything personal that you think people should consider? Not that people can change who they are, but
Yeah, I would
anything.
say just being enthusiastic about what you're doing. I think when your team and other people get to see how enthusiastic you are, they are more eager to work, I guess, more closely with you, and they see that you're passionate about your career, and so they want to continue to like, maybe if even like open you up to more opportunities in the future. So let's say you want to apply for like a job maybe similar to what you're doing right now. Like, let's say you want to apply to a different company and your current team sees that, like, you're so passionate about what you're doing right now, they'll be more than happy to maybe like refer you to that job, or like show up as like as a reference letter for you. So it's good to show enthusiasm in your job, and also for yourself as well, because I think that's how you actually enjoy what you're doing. I think you should never try to force yourself to do something that you don't want to do. So if it's something that you do enjoy, I think you'll probably see it come out naturally as well. You'll start like researching it on your own. You'll start to find like ways, how can I learn more about this specific topic more? How can I do to make this better? You'll start to also just find it in your own self to keep doing that. I guess another thing, I had another thing in my head as well. I'm trying to think what I was thinking.
I was just going to jump into that to say, it sounds like what you're saying is do what you love, and you're never going to work a day in your life.
Yes, yes.
Right?
Yes, that's the very important thing. Being
Yeah.
able to just enjoy what you're doing it's so essential, because I know there's people that haven't enjoyed what they're doing, and I can see, like, I think it kind of reflects also like maybe on the way the way you go on about life. Maybe like some people, when they finish their 9 to 5 jobs, they come back happy as if like they didn't do anything, like as if like it was just like their day was just, all happy and joyful. But then I guess some people, when they don't really enjoy it, you can see like they come home very stressed out, very frustrated. And I think that's when we have to realize, like, is this what I'm passionate about? Is this something that I want to keep doing for the rest of my life? So it's very important to understand that. Um,
And I was also going to jump in and say that it sounds like you're a great example for this because you started one way and then mid through your studies, you decided to switch and, you basically um, leading that example, like, you leading through example, through, you leading by example,
oh, thank you.
basically what you just said, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yes.
So,
So yeah, that's what I would have to say for now. If I remember what I had to say again, I'll come back and say it. I just think
yes,
I forgot
no
about it.
problem. No
Yeah.
problem. Lakshmi, how about you? What are some personal skills that you think um, people will need to consider when, to do this type of work?
So it would be always good to be detail oriented. Um, that's one thing I found would be good to have, and be adaptable. Just like Lena said, it's always good to be adaptable. Mm, right now, because all the jobs is kind of um, the jobs are no longer specific to one field. It's not always electrical and not always mechanical, kind of electromechanical, or there is going to be IT stuffs in your job. There is always going to be like a intersection. And so being adaptable, being open to learning new technologies, that's good thing. And another most important thing is don't afraid to try new things. We are going to make mistakes. So we should have that confidence. I did not had that confidence and I was pulling myself back, but now I'm building that and I understand how important that is because when we are entering into this field, there is like thousand things that we don't know, but still we have to try and we will be making mistakes, but that's okay. We have to have that confidence to try.
And I believe that's how we learn, right? We learn by trying, by testing
Yes.
things out and figure out what works, what doesn't work. And if anything, we just know what doesn't work, right? What not to do next time,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's super important. I'm going to add one thing, which I think it's very, very important as a personal skill is be curious. Do you agree? Like if you're
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for
curious,
sure.
like ask questions, feel like and don't act like you know everything because when you act like you know everything, people are not willing to teach you. But if
Yeah.
you're open-minded and curious and open to feedback, I feel like people want to mentor you, people want to support you and take you to the next step in your career versus just say, oh, I know everything. I
Yeah.
graduated a straight A student and I'm like an expert
Yeah.
versus like I'm here, I'm new, teach me anything. I found that for me, that's what helped me to be where I am today. I'm not a person in STEM. I study social work and look at what I'm doing now, all because I've been curious and asking questions. And I was open to hearing people when they were telling me things about their life. And that's why Revolution exists, really. you know. I'm wondering, I'm just looking at the time and I'm wondering if anyone has any questions. If you have any questions, please feel free to unmute yourself and ask our speakers any questions. Not all at once. Like I like to tell everybody, like not all at once, okay, one at a time, one at a time. um, that's okay if we don't have questions. I actually have one last question that I like to ask you. Um, do you have any advice for young women that are interested in STEM? And if so, please share it. Lakshmi, let's start with you.
Um, it's it's not like an advice. I'm not yet there in a position to advise, but what I found till now in my experiences in STEM, as my physics teacher said once, in STEM only common sense, logical thinking, and everything with the brain. That's the only thing that matters, and there is nothing with the gender that is related to that. So it, that those kind of if anyone is gonna tell you because of your gender or anything, that's not true. STEM is same for anybody, and why still women or girls are having a hard time getting into this field. I think it's more because of the history, not something that's happening in the present. The present world is more getting ready for more females to, sorry, um, I'm having hard time getting this into a better sentence, but don't be afraid to get into STEM. If you're interested in STEM, that's it. That's enough. Um, you will be really good at that. Just work on your skills, work on your logical and reasoning skills. That's enough. Nothing else matters. Just have your common sense and you should be trainable. That's it.
Thank you. That's an important message, and thanks for sharing that, because I think it's just, don't hold back just because the system it's
Yeah.
saying that you can't do it. If you want to, if you have the passion, just go for it. And I'm all for it. And I'm hoping that we have created some of that platform for young women to use Revolution as a testing ground. This is why I'm really passionate about, when you're in high school, this is a good time for you to test it out, see what you know what I mean? What is it that you want to
Yeah,
do,
that's
if you want to do it? Because sometimes some people might decide that when they are trying it, they feel like that's not really for me, right? We have had young women that got into our program where they decided to study psychology, and I was like, why psychology? And say, because I feel like if I want to be a great marketer, I need to understand psychology. I was like, oh, okay. And they got that from this program. I was like, that's amazing.
wow.
So yeah, and if they are to understand how to talk to people, they should study psychology. I was like, that's cool. So, it's sometimes understand what your strengths are. I think it's important. So thanks for that, Lakshmi. How about you, Lena? Any advice for young women that are interested in STEM?
Yeah, I would say something very similar to Lakshmi. So yeah, I would say don't be hesitant to go into the path that you want to go into. I know that these fields are very male heavily dominated, but if we want to see change, we should be the change that we want to see. It starts from us. So don't be afraid to go into these fields and dominate them. Like we should be the ones to feel free to join in and not feel that they're only designated for a specific gender. So it's for anyone and everyone who shows interest or anyone who feels passionate about going into them. And another thing is, I know we can like change our minds many times in our lives. Like I know when we're in high school, just grade 12, we're forced to like choose a career right away. And maybe some of us, we don't know what we want to do. I know it's a big decision at such a young age, but that's why I would say don't hold yourself to that specific program or that specific field for your whole life. You can even just you can choose that program and go into it for maybe 1 year and see how you like it. And if you feel that it's not for you, by all means, like change it. Don't just stay there and feel like, okay, no, I'm already in here and I can't go back. Of course you can go back. That's the great part about having our own freedom, is being able to choose whatever way we want to go from there. And I think it's like good that even 1 year will show you if this is what you want to do. Maybe it can take 2 years for some people, maybe it can take 3 years, but I don't think that should stop you from changing it if you don't feel happy in that field. So if you want to, maybe let's say you're in software engineering in your first year, in your second year, and then you want to switch into maybe like electrical engineering because maybe you feel more passionate about that. I think by all means you should do that, and you should not feel stuck where you are. And also I would say I highly recommend reaching out to people who are also in university. There's a lot of support there that are created for the sole purpose of being there and providing guidance for those people who need it. And there's a lot of clubs like Women in Engineering, and I feel like it's a great way for women to gather together, maybe have like shared concerns, shared problems and issues you're dealing with, and those other girls will be able to relate, and you guys can tackle those problems together. So it's like a little support group for women, and I was in it myself, and I was actually the president of that club in university as well. So I have seen how it has helped me, and I have seen how it has helped others. So feel like free to join those clubs, and feel free to join the events that they provide for students. And again, like I mentioned that I had mentors like my counselor that was offering that offered me a lot of advice. So I highly recommend going to those people. And if you're having any kind of like career related troubles or career related like dilemmas, maybe you're uncertain where you want to go, they'll always be there to provide you with assistance. Even like like higher up students, like maybe you're in your second year or maybe you're in your first year and you want advice from a second year student, like just that, even just 1 year can provide you with so much information, so that second year student can be your mentor as well, that third year student, that fourth year student. So feel free to like make connections and talk to as many people as you can so that you really know what you want to do. So that's what that's what I personally experienced, and so I find that was really helpful, and hopefully it helps you guys as well.
Thank you, Lena. Appreciate it. Well, we're at the end of our panel, and I want to say thank you for sharing all of the wisdom that you have. You know, I'm very grateful that you took the time to actually share this with us. And all the information, all the questions that we asked today, it is helping all the people that might be interested in the seminar program to see what's possible, to see that they're not alone, to see that it's possible, to see that, be curious, like we talked about earlier, but also, don't be scared to try things out and see if this is for you. And just because you try this now and you realize that later that it's not for you, you can pivot, right? Something that I like to call, and I heard this from I learned this from somebody else, say test, pivot, right? And the same thing with your career. You can test it out and then you can pivot later. And our program, the seminar program, we have our applications open right now on our website. We will share the link. And we also, the program starts on August. I should have this information, right? It's the second and third week of August. It will be virtual, and we'll have teams. So what we'll work on for the program, we will have the students will be working in teams because we know group work is important, but also they get to solve one of the 17 SDGs, the social sustainable development goals. And they will, at the end of the program, they get to build either a web app, mobile app, or a game. And in the program, they will be exposed to Python. This year, we're going to have Python. Up until before we had JavaScript. Now we have Python because we know that we want to change it up and giving the students that will come back in the program the opportunity to learn something new. So they will learn Python. And they will learn things around marketing, things around design thinking, things around UX design, testing things out. They will get to test the idea and pitching, which I think is super important because public speaking, it's one of the skills that is not necessarily taught a lot, like it's not focused a lot. And I think it's one of the reasons why confidence is not really present much, but we are focusing on public speaking as well. So they get to pitch their idea to a panel. And this year we are going to have a lot more post-secondary students involved. So Lena, thanks for sharing that earlier, how, seeking guidance from post-secondary students, I think it's very valuable. And we recognize that having our students are in high school to be introduced to students from post-secondary that do similar thing, where post-secondary students get to build some leadership skills, and high school students get to have peer support. I think it's super important. So we'll have that in the program again. And then one thing that we want to focus more on in this program again is mentorship, because I think it's not looked at. I mean, it's not I don't think it's really well understood by high school students how important it is, and that's why we want to bring it in the program as much as possible this year. So we're thinking that this might be some of the prizes where you're going to be mentored by people in either post-secondary or people in the industry that can actually help them, take them from where they are to where they want to be. I think mentorship is super important, and we should not just resume to one mentor. We should have multiple mentors, but for some of our students, I know their mentor, they might be the first one when they come in this program. So again, I want to say thank you for being here. Thank you, Lakshmi. Thank you, Lena, for being here. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I guess we will see you soon. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Bye.
thank you for inviting me here, and I think it's a really good initiative. Yeah. And 8 years,
Thank you.
that would have been not easy, but I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, thank you
Yes.
for having me as well. I had a really great time, and I hope that anything that I said could help someone that was looking for any answers. So and feel free to continue to reach out to me if you need any other assistance in the future with any other events.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you, both of you. Appreciate it.